Those of you who've watched me on MasterChef know how much I love mushrooms, just so passionately. They're absolutely beautiful and so versatile, and you don't really need to do a lot with them to give them that beautiful flavor. So today, I'm gonna do a very simple pappardelle with mushrooms for you that will take all of 10 minutes. So I've got some mixed mushrooms here, some wild, some not. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna slice these guys up. So a good mix of everything. So we've got some beautiful shiitake mushrooms here. I'm just gonna thinly slice them. On my mixed mushrooms, I've got some oyster mushrooms, some enoki, these are some veggies, and also baby king browns. So I'm just gonna slice them all up, kind of similar shapes, different textures though. Not gonna use them all today. You only need about 250 grams, and I reckon I've got 350 here. So I've chopped some of my mushrooms, but with the oyster mushrooms, you'll find that they're quite easy to kind of tear up, and you kind of want to keep them like that. While that's happening, I'm going to turn on the heat because I'm almost done. Really high heat. As you can see, the enoki are already kind of in strands, so you don't even have to deal with them too much. The sumeji, they're in little clusters, so just give them a nice tear, keep some of them together. It's all good. All delicious. The thing about mushrooms are that they're so flavoursome that you really don't need to do much to them. So today, all I'm doing is putting some oil into a hot pan. This just helps the caramelization as well as sealing those mushrooms, so the inside of the bigger chunks will be quite moist still. So the bigger mushrooms are going in, and they should start to sizzle straight away. Give them a nice toss in that olive oil. Beautiful. While that's cooking down, I'm gonna slice up my other aromats. So I've got some shallot here, just a nice slice through it. The sweetness in the shallot really complements the meatiness of the mushrooms really well, and the earthiness of it all. It's been on there for about a minute. Our smaller mushrooms can go in. The reason I'm putting them in at different stages is the enoki and the sumeji sometimes ends up over caramelizing and they kind of shrivel up, and you kind of want all those beautiful textures to stay in this dish. Now, because we're cooking it this way, the mushrooms will start to release a little bit of moisture, but you definitely want that. You want it to create a sauce as such to coat the pasta in. So we're just going to keep this on the heat for another 2 to 3 minutes, and then in goes our shallot and some thyme. And then what you want to do at this point, don't touch it. Leave it for 2 to 3, maybe 4 minutes, so that you get a nice crust at the bottom of the mushrooms, but it's still soft and silky at the top. So it's been 3 minutes. I said do not touch the mushrooms, so I didn't. I really wanted to, but I didn't. Time to give it a nice toss now. You should probably see some of the mushrooms really beautiful and caramelized. There we go. How gorgeous are they? Our water's come to the boil as well, which is perfect timing. I'm gonna just drop these pappardelles in there. These will only take, on the packet it says 7 minutes, but for this dish, I'm gonna only give them 5 minutes because I do like them to be quite al dente and still have a little bit of bite in them. And we're gonna be cooking them again in the pan, so we don't wanna overcook the pasta. The mushrooms are definitely done. They're ready to get saucy. As you can see, they've got some caramelized bits, some soft bits, and that's definitely what we want, the difference in texture. In goes a little bit of butter, and I'm actually gonna turn the heat down a little bit as well, because you don't want that butter to cook off. You want it to be still saucy. So the butter's incorporated beautifully. I've turned down the heat a bit because I don't want it to dry off. I've added a tiny bit of salt, but now I'm gonna hit it with some black pepper. Not too much, because black pepper is quite strong, so you don't want it to overpower the mushrooms. Our pasta's had 5 to 6 minutes now, so I think it's definitely ready. As you can see, it's still very al dente, almost there. So it's time to put it into our mushrooms. Straight in. Oh, nice little sizzle. The reason I don't drain this off is because I want the starchy water attached to it. I don't want to wash that off. Remember to reserve your pasta liquid. It is full of beautiful starch now. So later, as we're mixing it through, if your mushrooms aren't saucy enough, add a little bit of water in it. Okay, that's looking phenomenal. Time to get serving. Nice little twist, just like you were taught when you were younger. And once you've got a hold of it, I'm using a slotted spoon as well. I'm gonna pop that into here, twist it again, let it kind of fall out. Nice little amount of pasta. Let's pick up some of these leftover mushrooms. Nice little drizzle of olive oil, a little bit more salt. Some thyme here that I've reserved, just a nice dusting of that. The reason that I always garnish with the fresh herb is once it hits the heat, you kind of get all the sense of that herb again. So you might have cooked it off and the flavors might have infused, but you taste the smell as well. So it's very important to kind of reintroduce that into a finished dish. So that took all of 10 minutes. That there is my wild mushroom pappardelle. Give it a go for yourself. It is so simple, but so packed full of flavor.